Okay, let's try this again. Because that was weird. Streamlabs. Okay, let's. Okay. Streamlabs crashed. Streamlabs crashed. Okay, hope everybody's been well lately. Just been a bit busy for me with life, with work, other stuff. So I haven't had any real time to stream as of late. Oh, camera fix. Let's hope that Streamlabs doesn't crash again. But again, hope everybody's doing well. Has been doing well. The force has been kind to you. All of that over, the many weeks since the last time we were live streaming, which I believe we were talking about um, the Bad Batch at the time. Yeah, because my stream here just it's still showing that I'm live because it just the stream just uh, this is weird. So yeah, the stream decided it wanted to. Or should I say the Streamlabs site just crashed. So it's just like, let me get rid of that stream just now. And no, I can't do it yet. But with that, let me get ready to get started. But yeah, didn't make any announcement. I should have. Oh, hold on. Okay, let me fix. There we go. It should be cool now. Okay. So let's get to it. Episode 12, titled "The Outpost," was such a great episode, and I really enjoyed The Mandalorian season 3, episode 2. from Wednesday as well. Just a double dose of goodness within the Star Wars universe itself. But for me personally, season 2, episode 12 of The Bad Batch hit me like, well, hit me pretty good, right in the feels. And yeah, I decided yesterday that I wanted to do a live stream today to talk about it. Just not sure, maybe this weekend if I'm not doing any overtime, because I've done a lot of overtime this week at work, literally 4 straight days of 12-hour shifts when I'm usually doing like 9. Those 3 extra hours a day really kicked my butt, and kind of was chilling a little bit today on my day off, but I got to work the next 4 days. Not sure if I'll be doing overtime tomorrow. That's still up in the air. I did talk to my management team at my job about that, possibly sticking around for another 3 hours, for basically another 12 hours tomorrow. So we'll see. But at the same time, we'll see how the morning shift goes while I'm there. But yeah, we get these 2 very good, very great episodes. But like I said, Bad Batch season 2, episode 12, The Outpost, really hit me. And I believe that, many of the Bad Batch fans, when it's pertaining to these characters, including Crosshair, which now we've seen twice in these past 12 episodes, where he's been featured in 2 of them, really just, even with the fact that it's 2 episodes, and then we also, with the fact we get another person here who I've titled as the Bum. I give various characters within anime, within video games, and of course within Star Wars the Bum title. Just another cat added to that list. This cat, Nolan, truly exemplified true hatred towards clones. And I'm really glad that Crosshair finally, at least for many of us fans, I believe that many of us feel like he's definitely come to his senses as far as the Empire, how they're treating his brothers, himself, all of that. What is going on, Will? What's going on to the legend? What is good? Hope you're doing well, dude. But yeah, Crosshair, I honestly feel like he, because, again, it took this Bum specifically, it took him to really help Crosshair see that, the Empire basically has shoved the clones fully to the side and getting ready to roll in, the Stormtrooper initiative that is definitely coming at a fast pace. But this episode, and that's the thing, it only took 2 episodes for that feature Crosshair that allowed him to see and understand, hopefully fully, that the Empire has gotten rid of the clones. Even at the very beginning of the episode, where the one clone says, this is a forced retirement, what are we supposed to do next? We talked about 3-4 episodes ago, when they were talking to the one politician, I can't remember her name off the top of my head at the moment, where she was trying to get them to accept her help for them, and they were basically saying the same thing. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed, we are soldiers. We need to be out in the field, the battlefield and stuff like that. So we see these things happening to many of the clones, and then we have people like Rampart, and of course people like Nolan here in episode 12, where they're just like, they're bums. They suck. They don't care about these individuals who have their own mind, way of thinking, but still, again, good soldiers follow orders. They follow orders in the midst of them being, having disagreements in their own views and stuff. But we see that, Nolan being even more open about his disdain and dislike of the clones, and Crosshair finally snapping. So various questions. Probably going to put a video on some stuff that I was thinking about as far as this episode is concerned, but I definitely wanted to talk about this here in the live stream today with this episode today from this past Wednesday. But I did not do my usual when it's pertaining to the images and stuff that I put in together. I just kind of just grab images and wanted to touch base on various things when it's pertaining to this past episode here. But of course we do get like I said, we got the opening here. Let me move myself from the camera, where, like I said, these clones, they're having conversations with their commanding officer about them being forced into retirement. But that's one of the things that I did notice, and I believe that many others did notice as well, is that this specific commanding officer, this specific person, was she's one of the workers that she knows that this is what her job is, to inform and to take. We have specific things within the workforce where there are specific workers, they don't really like their job, but they're doing it because they're getting paid for it. They don't, we many of us has been there. They're just like, they have one job, they're just here to do it, do the hours and go home. She's one of those people, you could hear it in her voice. She's like, please just follow me, blah, blah, blah. This is where you need to go. She wasn't like demanding of them. She was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm tired of hearing this, but please follow me. This is where you need to go. It was just the tone of her voice. She was just like, definitely didn't want to be there. She'd probably rather be on the beach somewhere. But again, she's having this conversation with these clones, directing them where they need to go. And this is pretty much what she's doing with more than just these three. And like I said, the one clone in the middle, he's sitting there telling her, we're soldiers. This is a forced retirement. What the heck? Why do we have to go in this direction? And Crosshair sees this, and it's even the look on his face. Let me fix this. I don't know why I did this. Even his look, the look that he's giving here specifically, I do like the facial. There's various facial expressions from Crosshair in this episode that I want to touch on. Even once him and Nolan and crew got to the planet they were headed to, where Mayday is. And I definitely want to say that Mayday is now one of my favorite clones. And RIP to the homie. Sucks. But just very expressions on Crosshair's face that when he's specifically just standing there. I mean, he does it with Rampart too. We see it as well. But when Nolan pops up, we definitely get that vibe from Nolan, that he just does not like clones at all. And they are a property that specifically is only gonna do what they're supposed to do, and that they should do it. They're like he said at the end, they're expendable, this, that, and the third. And we see him just being just real rude to Crosshair. And even with that, he even had told Crosshair, like, you're out of uniform. And all it was that he didn't have his helmet on, right? That's the only thing. The only issue is that he wasn't wearing his helmet. That shouldn't have been something that where he was sitting here saying, you said, Will, you said you hate Nolan more than Rampart. And I believe that I want to say that I agree. But like I said, in this spot here when they first met, it's just like, man, like all, Crosshair is done. He has been outside waiting patiently for whomever he's supposed to be with without his helmet. He's done with Cody. He's done it with Rampart, and now he's done it with Nolan. And I want to say that Nolan has been the only one who sat up here and said, like, you're out of uniform. And I do like the base here when they are flying off. I definitely like the area specifically as they are flying off to head to where they're going. here in episode 12. Uh, and of course, when they land, I do like the planet spot. I love how they do this all the time. They have the ships fly, and then they're preparing to land, go into the atmosphere. But one of the things that did stand out too about Nolan is that he is very nervous, scared, because they're flying, they're preparing to land. There's turbulence, all of that. I was like Nolan a few months ago when I flew for the first time in several years. First time I ever flew. I flew in Florida several years ago for the first time, but recently, a few months ago, last year, I want to say in October, if I remember, it was my first time flying again. So long ago, and I was really just like holding on for dear life, because I didn't know, I was scared. It's my first time flying in so many years. Wasn't used to it. Now I am, but because I've flown a few extra times after that. But Nolan here, you could tell that he was really just like nervous, hanging on, hopeful that nothing bad was going to happen to him. And then once they land, you see that they're landing in a very, very, very cold side of the planet. I want to say that this is just a section of the planet that's cold. I don't want to specifically say that the whole planet is ice-based, like maybe possibly like Grand Admiral Thrawn's planet, Chila, or something like that. But they're at a specific place where where it's cold on the planet. But I definitely like this spot here again with Nolan when he's getting off the ship. He has clones behind him, and he slips. He had stopped for a split second to, I guess, view the area real quick, and then when he went to make a step, he slipped. And again, per his character, as he is a bum, he gets upset because the clone here grabs him so that he makes sure he doesn't fall. And it's one of those things where these type of characters, these type of people, when he literally tells the clone here, you guard the ship, everybody else is basically falling, all because he, the clone was being kind, actually, make sure that he didn't fall. Had he fallen, he would have still been upset. He would have still been negative towards whomever, and which is more than likely the one that was behind him. And he would have probably still told him to guard the ship, or whatever the case may be. So he on his high horse with this specific position and power and stuff like that. It's just that, in this spot, just makes you not like his character even more, because the clone's being kind and offering assistance. Simple, because again, had he fallen and hurt himself, he wouldn't have been able to continue with the mission. Then we have to go back to his superior officers to explain why he's back there so soon. You know what I mean? And then we get the actual area. Get it's cold. It's out in the boonies, out in the middle of nowhere. We get that, and I do like the spot here just before they go into the section of this building, that they stop before they actually go in. I don't know about my laptop is cheap, so I did get images from the room here with Mayday and crew, so I don't know what they're all looking like. It looks fairly fine. It's very different when like dark areas. I just need a better laptop and better settings and stuff like that, but it's very different when I do video recordings and the darker toned areas are, you can hardly see within the rooms and stuff like that, which I don't like too much. But we see these robots here, they're working and stuff like that. And then of course we get the introduction to, again, one of my favorite clones, and RIP to the homie here, Mayday. I do have a video coming out tomorrow, specifically talking about Mayday, in the small portion of the episode that I put together just before I started to stream. But I definitely like how he comes in. He's just saying like, you guys are late. It's 36, rotations or whatever. And then, we get the conversation from Nolan, where he's in a negative tone, talking down. He's talking down to Mayday. We basically saying, what did he say? We run on the Empire's time, not yours. You are out here. The mission that you're on hasn't been efficient. This, that, and the third. But again, I love Mayday's responses to Nolan in episode 12, where he's talking to him with a little bit of respect, but more so in a tone of saying, like, we've been here. Where have y'all been? I've lost men on this mission. I requested for some response from the Empire. We've needed resources. We've lost. I need more men. We've lost those. Nolan, what did he say? Talking about respect and stuff like that. But I love Mayday's response where he says, because I've been doing this so long, I've come to the realization that respect is earned, and Nolan, he didn't like that. But it is true. Respect is earned. It just isn't, it shouldn't automatically be given to a person, because they could be, people can be a piece of trash. People can be bums. They could be rude towards any and everybody that come in contact with, like Nolan. Like, why would I, or why should I give you, respect that you clearly should earn from me, if you're rude to people, rude to your family, friends, whomever. You're on your high horse and stuff like that. Just because you have a position, no matter what position it is, even if it's above mine, you should automatically gain respect from me. Like, no, like, that's why I'm saying, that's why I love Mayday so much, because it's like he's telling him to his face, like, dude, like, and then you've asked him, how many missions have you been on? And he didn't even give a response. It's like, yeah, I thought so. That's why I'm saying, like, Mayday would give him more respect if he's more respectable towards himself, towards his Mayday subordinates, towards the mission. If he had even gotten those resources a month prior and stuff like that when he asked for it. This is the stuff that truly does earn you the respect that Mayday is talking about, that Nolan is expecting to receive, but he shouldn't. And that's true to life within itself. But again, like I said, I just love Mayday. Just in this scene alone made me like and love his character a lot. And then we get the conversation with him and Crosshair, where he had talked about and asking, how long have you known Nolan? He was just roughly a couple of hours. And wondering how he got on, put on this mission. He was like saying, like, more than likely luck. He asked him his name, and I actually do love Crosshair's hesitance. And I wonder what was going through his mind. He could have easily said, that's none of your business. I want to believe that even here in this moment, that this was also to another turning, a shift in Crosshair going, coming to his senses, because he's talking to another one of his brothers, and he is able to, loosen up some and just be like, okay, my name is Crosshair. But again, there was like a roughly 5-6 second delay response. Like I said, he could have just given him his number, like, nah, no names, this is my number, whatever. But he did indeed finally say, after five or so seconds, like, my name's Crosshair. And then they go into more dialogue and conversation. But like I said, I just love how Mayday was approaching this scene approaching Nolan, of course, approaching um, uh, Crosshair. But then as they're leaving to go outside, him and Crosshair, we see the helmets, and we see that they have indeed lost many men during this mission, even if it's been longer than a month. So it's just one of those things that it just sucks. But then they're holding on to these specific characters that we've never met. I want to believe it was, if I remember correctly, Hex and somebody else. I can't remember the other clone's name, but I'll figure it out. Just holding on to that stuff. But when they go outside, they're having conversations about Mayday, saying like hopefully him and his crew, the rest of them, that can get out of here now that Crosshair and Nolan are here to help out with the mission. And I do like how when they were conversating, Crosshair had asked about their resources. I don't think I did. When Mayday had hit the, I want to say the sensory thing here, because it was moving kind of slow because of the weather and stuff like that. And then it started to move a little bit quicker. But like he said, Mayday did put in the request to receive the maintenance to stuff, the resources, of course, and then of course more men for the mission, and he just didn't get it because again, Emperor Palpatine's rolling this new Stormtrooper initiative. Clones are getting pushed out, put into early retirement, and it just sucks because many. I want to believe that there are still many clones out there during around this time that don't know that they are their services are starting to no longer be needed. But it's coming rather quickly, and Crosshair, he is indeed in the mix, in the thick of things, and he's starting to really see how the Empire is treating him and his brothers. But then that's when we get into the thick of things with the Raiders coming into the fold. And I did like this spot here with Crosshair once he gets to the specific place where he's at, to get to higher ground, to be able to get more of a better visual. And we get his scope a few more times. He uses infrared to see through the weather, and then we get the spot where when he's around the ship, when his scope is pointed to the ship, that it blows up and is facing that flash, plus with the infrared, all of that and the senses and stuff heightens, and he is, where are you? Did I go too far yet? He's blinded. And it's an interesting thing too that he covers both his eyes when it's technically just his right eye that was more affected per the explosion. I found that interesting, but at the same time I can understand too, because it probably could still have a specific effect on him. I mean, the clones are getting put out of service as the Jedi have just a slower method. Yeah. I like I said, I feel like it's the clones are getting pushed out at a faster rate now. Like prior to the Emperor popping up and talking about rolling out the Stormtrooper initiative, that it was slow, but I believe that now after that it's starting to really pick up. And then like, of course we Crosshair, when he finally like is looking and stuff like that, he sees the devastation explosion from a ship that he rode in on, and he did indeed catch, I don't know if you can see it, the corner of the scope, right bottom corner of the scope, you see one of the Raiders running. He ended up shooting them. Crosshair's just, his shots, his shooting percentage wise when he hits is just super high. Definitely 90+%, 95+%, when he is using his weapon. It's just dope. What's this? What did I do with that? Oh, okay. And then this is when he comes down and he sees the blood on the ground, and he's just following the trail of the blood. And again, Mayday is out there too. And I want to believe that these wrappings on Mayday's helmet, in a sense, it's like his own outside wounds per his mission, but at the same time more so used to keep his body as warm as possible within his armor. Let me see. Where are we? Oh, okay. So when Crosshair's following, also too, there's more blood out here. I just love this spot here when Crosshair was getting ready to follow the trail that they showed the background, the mountains and stuff like that. It was really dope. There's another spot a bit later in the episode that I love too, that I grabbed the screenshot of. I just love when they give close-ups on Crosshair and he has the scope in his, his weapon in the hand. He has a scope there. I just love how this looks. Per his character, I just love his character a lot. It's just super dope. And then we get to just another, this is just another thing per these caves and stuff where we have, the characters come into a cave and they're looking into the cave. I love how this looks, and including the background. We get that a lot. Of course, we got it in, even in Empire Strikes Back when Luke was in there, knocked out, hanging upside down. And of course, there's more blood on the ground. I just love how when Crosshair used the lighting on his weapon to look around the area and stuff like that, and just seeing more of the blood on the ground. But then when he heard the sound behind him and he looked up, I definitely like the spot here, the shot here when Mayday showed up. And he's looking up and he has the light shined on Mayday. I love this spot here. And then Mayday originally was saying, like, they went, the Raiders went in a specific direction, but that's when Cross was saying, like, no, they went in this direction. But then they go back because, Hexen and the other member of his crew also passed away, and we get the conversation between Mayday and Nolan, and how Nolan's saying, they failed the mission. They give us more of a look at the helmets, more just letting us know, like, yeah, like Mayday said, this is all that we have left. But now technically it's just him and it's just Crosshairs, nobody else, no other clones. But again, like I said, Nolan is up here going off on his high horse, saying, you're sucking at your job, blah blah blah, like you're failing the mission. But like I said, Mayday saying, like, this is it. This is the crew. I asked for more, but you didn't give it to me. And Nolan's up here on the cheese, expecting full on 100% for the mission to succeed. But that's not the case. But with this conversation, I think I got the spot. With this conversation with Nolan and Mayday, Nolan had said something very rude, and here another expression that was directed at Nolan. Again, another spot where Crosshair is starting to see the true reality of the Empire and his reality too, the reality of his brothers and of himself, that it's his life is again, he knew that his life, his job was fully for the Empire, but he wasn't realizing that the Empire did not care about them as individuals and as a collective. And again, per the conversation with him and per the conversation between Nolan and Mayday, that Crosshair, another expression from him that is showing us, the viewers, that he is slowly and truly seeing the real Empire in front of him. But again, Nolan's saying these very rude things to his brother. And then again, like I said, in this same scene, we are seeing that Crosshair did not like what Nolan was saying, and he looked at Nolan in such a way. It just let me and many others know that, like, yeah, Crosshair, you're starting to understand what your brothers in the Bad Batch and a few others have been saying, and you even hearing them saying stuff as they're walking by you, like, this isn't right, this isn't fair towards us. So yeah, but then that's when, of course, they decide to go back into the mission, and they go into the cave to follow the blood, go deep into the cave, and then we get the I think it's this one. What's this? Okay, we get the body of one of the raiders. We don't get a chance to see what the raiders look like, but we do get to hear them. They definitely are beings that more than likely have lived there for a good while. They have their own language, all of that, but we don't really get to see what they look like, because again, they too do receive, well, not receive, but they too get cold and stuff like that while they're living. But then we get the I always say, like, what are the odds, right, that this occurs where Crosshair steps on that mine, and we get the conversation between him and Mayday while they're talking, and if I remember correctly, this is the conversation where Mayday does bring up the Bad Batch during this moment, and I want to believe that, as always, these type of conversations are to redirect the emotions, anxiety, worry, fear, all of that. It's to redirect. Like, when somebody gets injured, there's a lot of times, even like the movie Major Payne, where when in the movie, if you haven't seen the movie, but at the very beginning, he tried to do it again a little bit later in the movie, but Major Payne saw somebody lying on the ground, hurt and injured, and he was just like telling him, like, you want me to help you take your mind off that pain, and he basically breaks one of the fingers of the guy laying down, and he, of course, it does indeed redirect the pain from where it originally was at to somewhere else. So per this conversation, it's just one of those things where Mayday is having a conversation with Crosshair and trying to redirect his thoughts, feelings, emotions away from the current problem, so that he can help him, or so that they both can focus on getting Crosshair out of this bind. And when he goes down, they're conversating, and he's putting those whatever the heck they are with the hammer, the little mini hammer that he's using, he's putting them down to shift the weight on those things and off of Crosshair's foot, which was cool to see, in my opinion. Like I said, as he's hammering down on this stuff, I do like this spot here, this scene. And like I said, the conversation itself. And then of course, that's when Mayday's like, if you don't move too quickly, because it did kind of look like Crosshair was getting ready to start moving fast, but he just had told him, like, don't move too quickly, don't go anywhere, don't move don't, it's nice and slow, but basically telling him to kind of wait to move. And he's like, if you did it right, then I know that you listened to me, and you did your duty. And of course, Crosshair moves his foot slowly, and everything's fine. It's safe. Nobody got hurt, no explosion, nothing like that, and then they can just move on. And then again, another scope spot from Crosshair. I did like this spot here, where they're looking at the area that they're getting ready to hit. Again, it's only two of them, and I love how they were able to get through this. Just some explosions and stuff like that happened. But I definitely like the stealth side of things once they got to this spot. And where are you? That's it. Right here, we see that these raiders are looking out, but then we get Crosshair coming up with his gun to take out the one up above, or behind and above. And we also get Mayday coming through with his takedown. Just real quick, real stealth like, before they then begin and prepare. So we're seeing the raiders, the stuff that they have, the equipment and all of that. And indeed, you did wonder, what were they guarding at the time? And then of course that's when also too, I kind of got ahead of myself too. I wanted to talk about this real quickly. When Crosshair grabbed this out of his pocket, that I originally thought that it was something that was going to make an explosion, but that wasn't the case at all. It was just an electric shock that hit the raiders here. I did like this spot. Again, originally I thought that it was something he was going to toss, detonate a grenade, but that wasn't the case. And then we basically get the gunfight. We have the raiders trying to attack Mayday, but of course Crosshair is in the back, guarding his six, basically, right? More of the raiders coming through. I did like how Mayday was able to protect himself a little bit before Crosshair took out the rest. And they keep shooting and stuff like that. But eventually, I tried to get it. I think when I was doing my screenshots, that this is the part where Crosshair's literally getting ready to shoot at the I want to say detonators that are off to the side. Because again, they're in a mountaintop, and you can't really do that type of stuff without any real stuff. But again, because of the explosion, though, I think cool. Okay, everything seems to be cool. The stream was kind of bugging a little bit, at least on my phone, at least. But because of the explosion, that's when they see what Mayday and his crew were actually guarding. And it was really just, all that it was indeed just the newer, supposed better improved stormtrooper armor that wasn't for clones. And even Crosshair even mentions that, and that's what Mayday's talking about. We've been here for a good while. We've guarded this stuff. Crosshair doesn't. You're seeing it in this another expression. Crosshair 2. He's just slowly realizing Empire is not on the clone side. Fully on their side. But again, like I said, that's when eventually, after a few minutes, that's when the real problem occurs, and that is indeed the avalanche that is coming to hit them. And it sucks because it does. But then again, they weren't thinking, I would have been thinking, I was like, this explosion is more than likely avalanche coming. Let's look real quick, like 2 seconds, but then let's get the heck out of here. But again, time is of the essence. There's still no real chance that they would have escaped the avalanche. And then that's when we see this shot here of the avalanche that hit. I love this background shot of the mountain, or just a shot of the mountain where they were at. There's a little bit of lighting in the middle of the mountain, just where the smoke is at, or not the smoke, but where the avalanche hit. There's a little bit of lighting for that area there where the raiders were at. I liked all of that here in the shot, in the midst of it being what it was, and that is, of course, Crosshair coming out of the snow. He's hurt and injured. I guess they're either going a different path from Legends, where it was said that Clone Armor was superior to Storm Armor. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. No, I do think that they could be just like, not so much as like going a different route, but just at least just shifting it towards like, okay, the Clone Armor, this is what it was. We are indeed now shifting it to the the Stormtrooper armor. What is it? What am I doing? And then we get here when he pulls Mayday out the snow. Mayday does tell him like, go, leave me out. I'm not gonna make it. But I love that Crosshair said, screw that, without even really saying anything. If I remember correctly, he didn't say anything to Mayday. He looked down at him, but then he looked out to the area that they were. I mean, it's out the middle of nowhere, and he literally, again, Crosshair just being just a dope brother, just a dope person, just grabbing Mayday and just carrying him. I just love this about Crosshair. It's just totally changing. I believe that this was the final moment where Crosshair just said like, look, enough is enough. I'm seeing the light, basically, right now, finally, right. Again, like I said earlier, in the beginning of the stream, like, took 2 episodes in the second season for Crosshair to finally come to his senses, to see that, this is what it's come to. Nobody's come out to help them. Nolan hasn't sent any rescue, any medics, nothing. They're just out there on their own. It just freaking sucks, right? And then they get, he gets them placed somewhere outside of the snowstorm a little bit, and then they're just hovering. He's just freezing, shivering. We get another close up across her. He's like shivering cold and all of that. It's just just man, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is why I love this episode a bit more than season 3, episode 2 of The Mandalorian. And what's this? Okay, this is just the mountain Oh, that's the creature flying around. They kept doing that, looking at the creature up in the air from afar as it was hovering over. Um, and then once Crosshair gets Mayday up more and out, like, you have to commend Crosshair because this was hours, like hours of them out in the snow, in that weather, in the avalanche, all of that, hours. You have to commend, excuse me, Crosshair for doing this because not many would have survived. And again, too, we do see the the quote unquote newer, improved stormtroopers here. They're grabbing equipment. They're basically getting ready to leave. Uh, and Nolan the bum, once uh, him and everybody else, they see that they are coming. Once they get there fully onto the base, something that Nolan did. Granted, he's being rude. He's even being rude to the stormtroopers here, right? Excuse me. Once he tells them to move, once we get to this moment, he smirks. Like he has a specific smile on his face, and he's relishing in this moment. And Crosshair and Mayday are getting here. Mayday ends up dropping his gun, and man, when I tell y'all, like, again, this is literally one of my favorite episodes of the second season. Probably could be top favorite right now. Nolan's just hovering, standing over, basically, and Crosshair, he's begging Nolan, right? Begging him. Mayday's gonna die. He needs a medic right away. Nolan's like, he's like, that's a, what did he say? That's a waste of resources. Freaking bum, right? This bum right here, this dude freaking sucks, right? And that's when Crosshair's like, didn't you hear what I said? Like, he's gonna die, but you could see it in Crosshair's face. He's so freaking mentally tired. He can't believe what he really now, he's just like, I feel like he's now realizing he can't believe that his superior officer is really turning down to help, his brother, to save his life, right? And we still get the cheese. I mean, Mayday it sucks. He's lying there. He is on his last breaths before the inevitable is getting ready to happen. And I hate it. I hate it a lot. I'm not gonna show it. I did get the screenshot, but I'm not gonna show it. You could literally see Mayday's last gasp of breath. His eyes are rolling in the back of his head. Crosshair looks down. He I think I did get a screenshot of him checking his pulse. All right. Yeah. Because he just knew that it was a wrap for the homie. Like I said, Mayday is literally one of my favorite clones now, who won't get a chance to continue. And Nolan, like I said, he's look at him. He walks up to Crosshair, he stands over him, hovering over him, like he's saying to both Crosshair and to Mayday's lifeless body on the ground, like, you're expendable. He's expendable just like you are. And that pretty much was the that plus the bird, the creature flying over. I love this spot here in episode 12 of season 2 of the Bad Batch. Love this spot here. Crosshair sees the creature fly over, and he knew. You could see the change of expression in his face. Look at this. He's had enough. He has had enough. And he even looked up, looking up at the creature. It's still flying over. And he just kept showing little spots of the creatures that are flying over. And they even give us here when it's flying where the sun is at too. Again, that's when Crosshair just, like I said, he just had enough, man. He was just tired of the BS, tired of the nonsense. Couldn't take it anymore. And he just, the switch was flipped, guys. And I loved it. He got up. He looked in Nolan's direction. He calls him. He says, "Lieutenant." Nolan turns around. And there was nothing that Nolan could do. No type of reaction. Didn't have any time to do anything else. And Crosshair took him down. I tried to get the best shot here. You just see the little bit of spraying of the shot here after Crosshair did indeed shoot him. But we did get the him pointing the gun in Nolan's direction. I just loved it. Many of us, I feel like practically 99% of the fans was just like, yes, probably more than like 100%, which is like, yes, finally, Crosshair, you did it. Thank you, homie. Thank you. And he falls down to his knees, and I want to say, looks in Mayday's direction one last time here. Yeah, he did, because we get one last shot of Mayday on the close-up, and he, like I say, looks in Mayday's direction, and it's just like, man. And he passes out because the new stormtroopers are on their way. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. And like I said, he ends up passing out right on the ground. And again, like I said before, they show the creature one more time as the troopers are hovering over. Again, we do get the shot of them coming up with their guns and stuff like that. The bird is here in this spot. Barely see it up at the top here. See the bird here. So 2 times the creature is there, and again flying around. They give the spot of the bird flying around, creature flying around again, and then that's when we get Crosshair waking up from being asleep for however long, a couple hours, probably 3 to 4 hours, maybe, probably a little bit longer than it took the two hours to get back. He's lying down on that bed, and we end up getting a specific person coming in, who I want to believe actually was just the sound of the voice. I want to believe that this, give me a moment, because I forgot to look this up. I want to believe that this is Michelle Ang, who is voicing this character, because it sounded like, because I want to believe that this is another adult clone woman here, but I want to believe that this is Michelle Ang voicing her right here in this moment. It just sounded like her, just a little bit older, like the uses of her voice. She didn't, want to sound too much like Omega, but I want to believe that this was her voice acting this adult clone woman here. And of course she talks about the doctor coming in, this, that, and the third, but I kind of wonder, what where is it? I thought I had it. What's in this syringe? Because she basically did basically put him back to sleep, right? She sedated him, put him back to sleep. But what's the plan moving forward? And again, who is she? Who is the doctor? You know, all of that. What is the plan moving forward? Will we see Crosshair in episode 13? I wanna sit back and say maybe not. Again, this is episode 12. He's only been in 2 episodes so far. That has been spread out in a matter of several episodes. And currently we have now 4 episodes left. Episode 13 is Pabu. Episode 14 is called Tipping Point. And that might be Crosshair again. And then episode 15 is the summit, and then episode 16 is Plan 99. So I'm curious, I'm questioning, I'm wondering, when it's pertaining to our homie Crosshair, what's going to happen next? Probably gonna, like I said, probably gonna get a break. Gonna get back with Hunter and crew next Wednesday. More than likely, probably not gonna see Crosshair unless we see him like at the end of the episode or something like that. But I'm gonna guess and say that episode 14, Tipping Point, could be Crosshair's moment of him figuring out a way to get away from the Empire and hopefully get back with Hunter and Omega and everybody else. Will we see Tech? There's another thing that that I'm gonna put a video together about when it's pertaining to the Bad Batch crew itself and Crosshair specifically. I'm gonna put a video together. Hopefully, maybe I could do it today. That I'm thinking about, wondering, curious, that could possibly happen. Not sure if it will happen in this season, but maybe in season 3. I want to believe that there's going to be a season 3. I want to believe that, but at the same time, who knows for sure? But you know, we have more Mando season 3 after March 29th, which is 3 more episodes after that, April 5th, 12th, and 19th. But when it's pertaining to the Bad Batch crew itself, I'm hopeful that we will get a 3rd season, because there have been various episodes that have been really good, but then there's been those few just down to earth. Doesn't have any real effect on the plot itself, doesn't even move the needle at all, that many fans, and a couple of them for myself, I was just like, that was just okay. I kind of wish that they would have just not had those in there, because when we sit there and think about it, 16 total episodes, maybe this show could have been 10 episodes in total for 2nd season, or 12 or something like that, if we didn't have those specific episodes that really didn't have real true huge effect on the plot itself. Just maybe just a little bit of character development. There was for sure some character development in those episodes that weren't plot centered. I'll give them that, but I just kind of wish that a couple of them that weren't even needed, but but all in all, I want to say that this episode has been around my favorite for the 2nd season so far, and I can't wait for episode 13 next Wednesday, and of course Mando season 3 episode 3 next, which is chapter 18 next Wednesday as well. So yeah, so it has been working out so far for both shows, because again, this is later on into the Bad Batch and, super early into Mando. We haven't had anything like any downtime episodes, any like what people will call filler episodes in Mando season 3 yet. There possibly could be some. We've had them in season, we've had them before. But we'll see what happens. They're more than likely going to have them in there. I want to say there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 8 episodes in total, so there's more than likely 1 or 2 episodes that are not plot heavy when it's pertaining to Mando season 3. But again, who knows for sure what Dave and John had planned for this third season of Mando. But all in all, definitely, guys, 9.5, probably even really technically a 10 out of 10 for me when it's pertaining to Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 12 for this past Wednesday. I can't wait for Episode 13 next Wednesday, again titled Pabu, which doesn't sound like anything pertaining to Crosshair at all, but more so about, Hunter and Omega and everybody else. I'm believing we're going to see Tech again. I want to say between Episode 15 and 16. I'm not sure if he'll show up in 14. So, Tech and Rex, I want to say, or Cody, should be returning, make a return. For sure, Tech, though. But with that, I'm out. Will, thanks for hanging, dude. Appreciate it. Definitely always real when you're here. Anybody else that may possibly have watched through this stream at any given point, leave some comment section below. As I'm getting ready to end the stream now, let me know your thoughts. What y'all think of episode 12? What is your rating for it? All of that. I'm probably going to do a rating post tomorrow for this week. I was supposed to do it Wednesday or Thursday, and I forgot because I've been working all like 12 hours, 4 straight days, like I said, beginning of the stream. And I'm still tired, and I gotta go back to work the next 4 days. So we'll see if I'm doing any more OT. I don't want to, but we are struggling at my job right now, so I've been having to step up to make sure that the staff and stuff aren't too overwhelmed at my job in any way that I can help. But with that, guys, I'm out. Like I said, leave some comments. Let me know your thoughts on episode 12 of season 2 for this past week. Probably going to talk about Mando season 3 a little bit later in a couple of days before episode 3 drops on Wednesday. But with that, enjoy the rest of your evening, noon, and night. Stay safe, stay humble. I'll holler at y'all later. And remember, the Force will be with you.